We'll start with our session for the day, and before that, a quick introduction of our presenter, Sangeeta Sumesh. She is the independent director at IFB Industries and brings along with her over 25 years of rich corporate experience with multinationals. And in her latest position, she was the executive director and CFO at Dun and Bradstreet Technologies. She's a professional speaker at many national and international events, forums, and corporates on finance, high performance, diversity, and leadership. She also contributes as a business and leadership coach by enabling high performance and enhancing financial growth. And in her own words, she's on a mission to enable, empower, and elevate businesses with a purpose to serve entrepreneurs, leaders, and teams to shine and succeed. Sangeeta is a business coach from the International Coaching Federation. She's a TEDx speaker and also a best-selling author of books like What the Finance, Get High, and Where's the Moolah? She's a chartered accountant, management accountant, and has also completed executive education from Harvard Business School. Sangeeta has also been awarded with the Nightingale Award by the Society of Auditors, leading women chief financial officer, 100 inspiring authors of India, including many other accolades. Wow, that was quite an introduction. Sangeeta, welcome. I'll hand the screen over to you for your presentation. Looking forward.
Thank you so much, Swati, for the introduction. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. Just give me a moment. Yes, so very good afternoon to all of you. I'm really delighted to be speaking in this forum, and I've been quite looking forward to this session as well. So here I am, and what's more exciting is that I'm talking about a topic that I'm passionate about, which is high performance. Now, before we deep dive into this topic, I'd like you to think and tell me, how would you feel if you accomplish a task with great speed, efficiency, and finesse? How would you feel if you achieve something that you thought you could not? And how would you feel if you keep getting consistently better in what you do? Go ahead and post some answers in your chat section. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me repeat that. How would you feel if you accomplish a task with great speed, efficiency, and finesse? How would you feel if you achieve something that you thought you could not? And how would you feel if you keep getting consistently better at what you do? Can I see some responses? I look forward to hearing from you guys because I'd love to keep this as interactive as possible. Energized and happy. Absolutely, Harish. Yes, yes. What about the rest? Harish is also satisfied and motivated. Yes. I feel a sense of accomplishment and achievement. Absolutely, Nidhi. Yes, indeed, indeed. Great. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, the reason I asked you this question and wanted you to think about it is the fact is there is a high performer in each of us. And all it takes is to recognize it and channelize our performance in the right direction so that we can unleash the high performer from within. That's the reason high performance is something that's very close to the heart of many of us, I would say. Let me now welcome you with a little song. It goes like this. You know you can get high. Your performance can touch the sky. If you work on it every night and day, manage beliefs right away. You know you can get high. What do I mean by get high? I mean get high on performance. You know, you don't need to really look for something external to get high because with your performance, you can get high by yourself because it's in your hands. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and check out what does it take to be a high performer? What does it take to promote a high performance culture in business? So if you're ready, give me a yes and let's get started. At the same time, I would also like to hear from you. How many of you want high performance? Who wants to be associated and be working in an organization that's a high-performing one? And how many of you would like to build teams that are high-performing teams? Go ahead and post it in the chat. I would love to hear from all of you on what you think. What are your thoughts about high performance? How does that make you feel? Go ahead, and I'd love to see some answers. Satisfied, motivating. Yes, I want to build a high-performing team with drive and focus. Fantastic, Nidhi. Yes. What about the rest? Passionate about it. Great, Neeraj. A high five to you, because so am I. Focused, collaborative, and meeting goals. Yes, Shobana, absolutely. Self-motivated. Yes, brilliant. You guys are awesome. And I love these responses, and I'd love to keep interacting with you through this session. Great. So let's now see what is it that we are going to have as takeaways from today's session. Let's explore together what is high performance, right? Let's also learn to see how we can foster team effectiveness within the organization. And as a coach, I'll kindle your thoughts and enable you to design an action plan to build your high performance teams for your organization. Are you excited? If yes, go ahead and post your thoughts in the comment box. I would love to hear from you. Achievement orientation. Yes, Dr. Rajesh. Yes, absolutely. Are you guys excited about high performance? Are you keen to build your high performance teams for your business? Go ahead and let me know what you're thinking out there. I know it's a nice Saturday afternoon, and that's exactly the reason why I want to engage with all of you. Highly excited. Yes, Neeraj, that's the spirit. Absolutely. Great. So what is high performance? And Nidhi says, keen to achieve success should be by the key objective of the team. 100% to you, Nidhi. Yes, absolutely. So let's get to the brass tacks. What is high performance? What do you think is high performance? Go ahead and share your thoughts in the chat. What is high performance? What do you think is high performance? There's nothing right or wrong, so feel free to share what you think is high performance. Any thoughts are welcome. Emotionally intelligent organization. Wow, I love that, Neeraj. Yes, who else? What else? Setting goals and achieving it. Yes, Vibhas, beautiful. Anybody else? Any other thoughts? Exceeding expectations every time. Perfectly right, Venkatesh Iyer. Yes, so if we were to kind of define high performance, a dedicated team with fire in their bellies. Woo, woo, yes, Nidhi, yes. So if we were to define high performance, achieving superior results by performing at a high standard to achieve the targets that are being set. Do more with less. I love that too, Nagarajan. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely indeed. So that is what is high performance. Achieving superior results by performing at a high standard as per set targets. So what is culture all about? Culture is nothing but a set of shared beliefs, values, and practices. So if you were to blend the two, what is the high performance culture that we are talking about is nothing but the set of behaviors and norms that leads an organization to achieving superior results. And obviously the superior results then gets translated into financial results as per these set targets. Well, like you know, I'm a finance professional and I have to touch upon the financial aspect. Agree? So that exactly is what the high performance culture is about. So let me ask you something. Is it true that a set of individual high performers working together, are they the ones who set the tone of high performance culture in a business? Is that what makes an organization a high performing one? Well, is that the only thing? Let's together see what it takes to promote a high performance culture. before that, let's also get to know why. Why do we need a high performance culture? What are the benefits? What sort of impact can it have on the business? And why does everyone want high performance? Let's check out some of these reasons. So the first thing, not all ordinaries should be able to contribute and grow themselves. Yes, it's true, very true, Sandeep. So what are the benefits? Let's check them out. One of the key things is improvised organization agility. A high performance culture helps you with improvised organizational ability. Not just that, it helps you with increased productivity. The productivity levels and the efficiency levels of the organizations will go up. Then what about your customers? They are going to be happy customers because they're going to get great service from your organization. What about your employees? They are going to be highly satisfied employees because they are in the high performance culture and they're going to keep getting better at what they do. And thereby that's going to result in consistency in whatever they're doing. And what would all of this lead to? It would lead to better bottom line, better profitability. And that's why, you know what I say? HP for HP. What does that mean? HP for HP, high performance for high profits. And that's exactly the reasons why everyone likes to be a high performer and all businesses want to be a high performing business. So having said that, let's now explore what is financial high performance. So crafting the financial high performance from a finance perspective, that's what is financial high performance is all about, wherein you're partnering with the business to achieve the success that your business wants to. So you could have different parameters, you know, depending on your business, your industry, the size and everything. It could be obvious ones are, of course, a good operating profit or your net revenue, net labor multiplier, your overhead rates, your utilization rates, or it could even mean your employee turnover rates. What is the sort of growth that you have, or, you know, is it declining? What about the unit economics? What are the key ratios that you need to be focusing on? And therefore, it all depends on the financial metrics that are the key indicators for your business. And those are the key or crucial indicators of high performance for your business. That is what is the financial high performance all about. So let's move on to the next slide and see what is in store. I'm sure most of you would recognize what this is, right? What is this? What festival it is? Very famous in Mumbai, the west of India, during Janmashtami. Any guesses? Do you know what that is? What festival are we talking about? Because we are now going to, yes, Dahi Handi, absolutely right, Sandeep. We are going to be, yes, thank you, Arpita, absolutely. And thank you, Rajesh, doctor. So let's see what are the lessons of high performance we can learn from sports. And the example I've chosen is the Dahi Handi festival. Now, like we know, Dahi Handi, what happens? A human pyramid is formed and people are climbing on top of each other. The guy who gets to the top gets the dahi or the butter, whatever, and the team is the winner, the quickest one. And you know what? Whilst they are doing this, there are so many obstacles and challenges because it's not easy. The one who needs to get on the top has to be really agile. It's not easy to form the sort of pyramid because if they are not in balance, not in control, boom, the pyramid is going to fall. Not just that, you know, the women who are standing by the balcony, what do? They're actually splashing water on these guys because it then gets slippery and they would tend to fall and they will not be able to build the human pyramid that they want. So like we know, there are umpteen challenges. And not just that. It's just one guy who gets to the top to get the butter. And you know what? This winning team, this winning guy, the media is talking only about this particular guy, not really about the entire other team who have supported him, who've lent their shoulders for him to climb and get to the top. Isn't it? That's how it is. What lessons can we learn from that in working together as a team? And how can we incorporate that in the business world? That's what something we're going to discuss now. So the key is, the first thing that these guys do, they know their why. Why are they forming this pyramid? They have a lot of clarity on the purpose. So the important thing is to know your purpose and have common goals, common objectives in which the entire team is working towards. So that's the first thing. Next, what do? They are trusting each other. They're trusting each other with their lives, because if one of them falls, the entire pyramid is going to collapse. And yet they know they are reliable. They can stand on the shoulders of their team members and scale greater heights. So therefore, trust is something that's very vital, because that's exactly needed in the business as well, for a business to grow and succeed. What is the next thing? Challenges. Challenges are aplenty for the businesses as well, right? And the challenges does not deter their spirits. Remember, I told you the women are splashing water at them. It is challenging. It's challenging as such to get to the top, and with the water, it's even more challenging. And despite that, these challenges does not deter their spirits, because the entire thing is all about team spirit. It's about winning together as a team, and it should not be looked upon as an individual win. Even though the top person is considered as a winner, well, in a business, it's most probably the CEO or the top guy who's considered as a winner, but the success is not possible without the entire team contributing to it. And therefore, the team spirit is important. Another important aspect is to leverage on the strengths of the team, because each of us are unique. Each of us have our own strengths, and therefore leveraging on the strengths of each particular person will help you. In the case of Dahi Handi, the person who is lightweight is the one who gets onto the top, because then it becomes easier for them to climb. So what are your strengths? Identify the strengths of your team members that will contribute to your business being the high performing business. And last but not the least is the execution, the successful execution of the project or the business, whatever you're implementing, that will lead you to a high performance. And those, my friends, are some of the lessons that we can learn from the Dahi Handi, which we can incorporate into our businesses, right? So let's now move on to see what is team effectiveness. Remember, I told you we're going to learn how to foster team effectiveness. What is team effectiveness? If you were to look into Wikipedia, Wikipedia says team effectiveness is the capacity a team has to accomplish the goals administered by the organization. For this, complementary skills are required, because it helps to optimize the performance levels. Now you're probably wondering, what is the link between team effectiveness and high performance? And you know what I would say? Team effectiveness is the foundation for high performance. Let me repeat that. Team effectiveness is the foundation for high performance. So let's together explore to see what is the team effectiveness all about and how does one go about it. Before that, let's pause to see and know about financial success, because I truly and strongly believe an organization has to have financial success else, you might as well do charity, right? So in order for the organization to be financially successful, what does it take? So I say the financial success of a business is dependent on the leaders who drive high performance and they strategize for financial success. And that's exactly what this image that you see, the triangle that you see, is all about. Because the leaders are only as successful as their team members. So in effect, your business is as effective as your people, your teams. And therefore, for a business to be financially successful, it is essential, highly essential, to have an effective team in place. So I would like you to take a moment's pause and think and reflect on some of this. What is your definition of team effectiveness? How will you evaluate the performance of your teams? How will you monitor the effectiveness of your teams? What are your team goals? Have you articulated them to your teams? What does the team dynamics in your organization tell you? What are some of the complementary skills that are required? What are some of the factors that impact team effectiveness in your organization? And how are you building a high performance culture? And how are you as a leader contributing to high performance? Now, these are some important food for thought, because this could vary organization to organization, business to business, vertical to vertical, industry to industry, right? So I would like you to think on these lines on what really it means to your business, the team effectiveness that we spoke about. Now, I'm going to share a real life case study on team effectiveness so that it will give you a little more clarity on what is needed. And the example I'm going to share with you, the real life example, is from Google. Not by the Google search, but the organization Google. Google's definition of team effectiveness. What does Google believe that their business needs to have, the parameters that their business needs to have for high performance? Now, they came up with 4 important findings. According to Google, team effectiveness depends on the executive evaluation of the team. The second thing is the team leaders evaluation. The third being, of course, the team members evaluation. And the fourth thing is the quarterly performance against the goals that they've set for themselves. So like I said, go ahead and see what team effectiveness means for your business, right? So this was Google's definition. So they also went on to study to see what are the factors that impact team effectiveness. You know, normally, most of us would think, what are the factors? We would say it's the domain skill expertise. It could be the location of work. It could be the kind of decision making. We would definitely say, you know, the team has to have a lot of high performers in them. We would also probably say it has to have good seniors who are leading it as leaders. Diverse skill sets are required. The kind of team size is important. What is the duration that they have worked with together? Do they have the ability to work with each other? So on and so forth. And normally, what people say are the factors that impact the team effectiveness. But guess what? None of these were right according to the study from Google. So what are they? What are the factors that contribute to team effectiveness? The first thing, my friend, that Google found out is nothing but psychological safety. So what is psychological safety? Do your team members feel safe working in the team? Are they comfortable to share their thoughts? Are they comfortable to speak up their mind? Even if they have half-baked ideas, can they openly share it? The idea may even be something silly, but are they comfortable to share it with the rest of the team? Can they express their opinions freely? Do they feel safe to admit a mistake if they have committed one? Can they share honest feedback to their leader without being judged, without being embarrassed, without being ridiculed or punished? That is psychological safety. So the opposite of psychological safety is fear. So if they feel fear within the team, they're not going to feel psychologically safe. And therefore, can the team afford to let the guard down and be themselves with their team? That's the most important factor of psychological safety. Most important leaders, the leaders themselves need to be vulnerable, and they can ask inputs from the team members, and patiently listening to what the members have to say can contribute a lot to the psychological safety of the team. What is the second factor? The second factor, according to the study of Google, is the team dependability. Can you depend on your team members for the quality of work? And can you also be assured that they will give you the work on time, right? That's something that's important, the team dependability. And of course, the opposite of not being dependable is avoiding responsibility, playing the blame game, or saying, the delay is not because of me, it was by somebody else, blah, blah, blah. So if we can avoid that, and how does one avoid that? By having clarity on the roles and responsibilities, clearly knowing the priorities, making your team members to own the tasks and ensure that they have the bandwidth to complete the tasks that they are meant to. The next factor, according to the study of Google, is the structure and clarity. Do your members have clarity on the role that they're supposed to perform? Because the opposite of clarity is, of course, confusion. They're unsure about their roles, their goals that they have to achieve, and how they should go about achieving them. And that's where the OKR, or the objective and key results, play an important role. And therefore, the team goal setting and communicating it with your team, encouraging ownership, reviewing and adjusting the goals, and defining the decision-making process with absolute transparency helps. The fourth factor is the meaning. This is the work that I do. Give me a sense of personal and professional fulfillment. This fulfillment varies from person to person, because for some it could be financial, some it could be the passion, some it could be appreciation, right? Or it could be a favorite area of their choice that they get to work with. Because providing meaning enhances engagement and effectiveness. One thing that I've noticed is on the appreciation. In fact, I did a workshop for the CXO club. And what was the common thing that came out? One of the common factors was appreciation. Many a times, the leaders fail to appreciate and acknowledge the good work that the team members have done. But hey, who doesn't like appreciation? All of us do, right? And by the way, if you liked my talk so far, I'm happy to get appreciation from you as well. So appreciating and getting the best out of your team members as a leader on a work that they are passionate about, and providing them the feed forward, or the feedback or the feed forward for an outstanding work really helps. And of course, coaching the team, you as a domain expert, or you could get them to work with an external coach like me, so that it helps them to grow and deliver the results that you are looking forward to. And last, and the other important aspect, is the impact, right? What is the impact that their work is creating? Are they being purpose-driven? Is the impact causing a greater good? What is the impact their work has on the teams and organization? And is their work really making a difference? Because highlight the impact that they are created and co-create clear visions for the strategic goals, because that enables the best in them to come out. I always believe that each of us are unique And once we can tap into the uniqueness of each person, the best in them comes out. So these were the 5 factors according to Google. And I'd like you all to think, what is it in your business? Think about some of these. Define the actions that can be taken to build high performance teams. Have you set goals, defined the goals? Have you set the roles and responsibilities? What about their work into the organization fitment? What are the priorities, the trust? Do you celebrate wins together as much as failures? As they're continuously learning, do you have feed forward versus feedback? Is there a culture of nepotism? What is the sort of the team behavior? Do they have that level of comfort? What about conflict handling? Are the functionals too interdependent on each other? What is the role of leaders? What about the integrity levels? Are they holding back information, or are they just working in silos? Or are they just talking behind the backs? What sort of culture is prevalent? And as a coach, what I would highly urge you is to go and check what is the current behavior and what is the behavioral change that's required so that the team can be a high performance team. And of course, all this needs to be communicated to the team. Communication is one of the key things. Let's now check out what are the traits of high performing teams. Now, I've just made it up into a 3x3 matrix. So what are the capabilities required? The kind of thought process in the business, what is sort of execution and the management skill. And on the skills, the 3 important things are the leadership skills, communication skills, and the growth mindset skills. So like the matrix says, if the leadership is purpose-driven and have a lot of innovative ideas, that's when their thought process is going to be absolutely great. What about the execution? The leadership has to coordinate well with everybody, monitor their work, because end of the day, the success is dependent on the kind of execution. And of course, doing that, they need to be constantly evaluating and manage conflicts so that that's when their management skills are going to be out. On the communication, there's umpteen data available, but how are you communicating, interpreting this data, right? What are the success parameters? This needs to be clearly communicated. Similarly, like I mentioned, the roles and responsibilities and the implementation skills that need to be there also needs to be driven and communicated correctly for clear execution. And of course, how do you manage your team? By trusting them and appreciating them. This again needs to get communicated. What about the growth mindset? Like I said, the psychological safety, the safe environment, is it there? What sort of solutions are being provided? On the execution, is there good collaboration between the teams, different teams and different business verticals? How is the task being completed? And of course, on the management, what is the growth potential of each individual? Because everybody aspires for their career to grow as well, right? So have you identified the high performers? What is the potential? How can they grow? And what are their niche, the specialization that they have? So if you can focus on these as leaders, this would help you to build the high performance team, because these are the traits of high performance teams. So let's move on to see how can you actually drive high performance. This is something called the impact wheel, and I've spoken about this in my book, Where's the Moolah? So this wheel, the impact wheel, has 8 quadrants like is depicted in the image. So one half of it is the impact on self, and the other is the impact on the organization, so that you can maximize potential. So how does this work? So the impact on the organization, if you can tell your teams, the impact it has on their people. As leaders, it flows from the top. So therefore, being a good role model and the example and leading the way for your teams, they would know what is the impact it has on the organization. Similarly, what about the customers? The customers are going to be absolutely delighted when they get great service in the form of high performance. And of course, this would lead to good financial results and thereby leading to the growth of the business. At an individual level, what does it take to be a high performer? They would know that their purpose, right? And when their purpose meets or matches with the purpose of the organization, they're going to give more than their 100% and therefore contribute to the high performance of the business. They would, of course, leave behind a great legacy once they move out from the organization, because, it's going to say that that's where it all started. The emotions, how would you feel when you have done a great job? If you were to assess your own performance, you're going to feel wow about yourself, right? And of course, the entire organization is also going to compliment you on the fabulous work that's being done. And that would, of course, lead you to develop your own self. So this is the impact wheel. And as a coach, I would tell you that this helps to maximize both the individual performance, the individual potential, as well as the team's potential, because it enhances their awareness levels, improves the team, the dynamics of the team. It also challenges the team to get better at what they do. And that's why I'd love to kindle your thoughts on high performance. So if I were to kind of put them all together in a capsule, it's important that everybody in the business is aligned. You need to have the buy-in from everybody. The people of the business should all be aligned to the mission of what the business wants to do. You need to explain and elaborate to them the role they are performing, how are they contributing, and what is the impact that they are creating. And of course, as a leader, you need to be focusing on the employees' needs, because employees have to take ownership, and that's where the culture gets formed. And fostering the values of the organization, the values of the leadership team, that could be at your individual level and of course for the business. What are the values? You need to nurture them as well, and approach and conduct the business in such a manner that it's inspiring, it's inspirational for everybody to work towards the common cause, a common mission that helps the business to grow and scale. And my friends, I would like to tell you that these books, they are my books that I've written. Get High is how to coach yourself on high performance in your work. And it's an activity-based book. It has been endorsed by Coach Marshall Goldsmith and many other senior industry leaders. So if you would like it, go ahead, pick it up. You could also share it with your team members. Then is What the Finance, which is a national bestseller. It's simple and easy tasks that help you to understand finance, and it's more practical. What are your financial challenges and how you could implement it? And of course, Where's the Moolah is about financial growth hacks for business profitability. So all these books are available on Amazon. I would love you to read it and let me know your thoughts on it. I would look forward to hearing from you. Both hard and soft copy of the book is available on Amazon and other online portals. I would also love to connect with all of you. You can find me as the Gain Enabler in most of the social media platforms. And of course, that's my LinkedIn code and my website. And with that, I'm now keen to hear from all of you. What stood out for you from today's talk, from today's masterclass? What is it that you're walking away with? What are the things that you're planning to implement in your business? And what is it that you are really high about, getting high about? And of course, if there are any questions and answers, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. So over to Swati. Thank you so much, folks, for being amazing audience. I loved it all with you guys. I now look forward to hearing from you all.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. I think a lot of things shared. I think people are all still in the thinking mode and all. And, would love for you to put up your questions in the chat if you have any, or you can actually also, on the chat window, you can see the feedback form. You can fill that in if you have any questions for Sangeeta. We can, send it separately. Of course, she's right here right now. So if you want to share any questions, we'll maybe pause for a minute and wait if we see any coming up in the chat window. All right. I'll start these off for you, Sangeeta. Harish would like to ask, how important is it to have a financially incentivizing mechanism to be able to build a high-performing team?
See, you need to understand what drives your team members. Like I said, if it is a financial incentive, then yes, go for it, because if that's what motivates them, you need to incentivize them. So, I always say the performance needs to be linked with something. What is the carrot that you're giving them? Because by working on that particular carrot, they know that they're going to get it. So like I said, it could be financial incentive. For some, it could be probably like an on-site engagement or working with particular clients. It could vary person to person, but like I said, if it is financial incentive that drives your team, ensure that you are able to. So you could be transparent with your teams to say, this is the budget or whatever that I have to incentivize you guys, or give them a particular target. And once that is achieved, you will be able to share the financial rewards with them, because rewards will go hand in hand.
Thank you, Sangeeta. The next question we have is from Neeraj. Isn't self-awareness of leaders and team important to drive purpose?
Absolutely right. Absolutely. So that's why I was saying leaders drive high performance. And for leaders to drive that, they need to be clear, what are the business goals? What are the values of the business? And once it sinks into them and they have clarity, only then can they communicate with the teams. So everybody has to be aligned with, whatever are the objectives, the mission the business wants to accomplish, because it's together as a team that you win. It can't be a one-person show. It's not a, one person driving the business to success. It has to be a team effort. So that's what is important. So once a leader has the clarity and is, aware of, like I say, why you're doing what you're doing. And of course, like Simon Sinek says, start with why. So once the why is clear, then, the other things would tend to fall in place. And that's where it helps with your awareness. And once you are aware, you need to communicate it with your teams.
Absolutely. All right. Rajiv's question is, what, according to you, are the top 3 ways to drive a culture of true teamwork?
This would vary business to business. So I wouldn't say it's just 3, but by and large, it has to be consistent. And it also has to be like encouraging and rewarding, rewards, like they say, rewards and recognition. For some, it could just be recognition. Some, it could just be rewards. So for some, it could be both. So it is quite a personal thing, I would say. So therefore, you need to understand what drives each and every team member. And that could vary person to person. So knowing what drives each person, and like, Google did the study on the team effectiveness. So what was it for each individual person, right? So for the business at a collective level. So you need to collect that information that's important for your business. So I wouldn't want to restrict it to just 3, but it could be umpteen number of factors that contribute to it. But it really depends on your team members.
Sure. All right. Nidhi's question is next. Okay. Sorry. This was moved. Give me a second. Right. That positivity going to ensure each team member carries out her or his assigned activities dedicatedly and proactively. Also, interpersonal skills, team spirit should exist. How often should a small team in a startup regroup and reinforce positive drive?
See, it all depends on the kind of messaging, right? If you're the head of the organization, it's the messaging that you need to communicate with your team members, and you need to keep refreshing it. It's not like, I told at the start of the year, because people are so involved with so many other things. So it is a matter of re-emphasizing it so that people are constantly reminded. That's why if you notice the large organizations, when they were actually working from office, used to have these huge posters and banners that spoke about the values of, what the business means and what it means to work as per the set culture, right? So these are things you need to keep driving, and that's why I said communicating. You could even package the same thing in a different manner and, constantly keep reminding them. It could be in the form of emails, or, even when you're having an informal chat with your team. The thing is the messaging and driving across, because the attention span, like we know, and the memory when it comes to such things, it can be quite limited. We're all human after all. So if you're keen about it, the messaging has to be constantly being shared. That's the key.
Thanks, Sangeeta. So, okay, this one I'll read out. Nagarajan says, so there are two situations, right? An employee with a good attitude and average performance versus one with attitude issues but best performance. How to handle these kind of conflicts in team, and how can we manage better?
Great question there, Nagarajan, and it's commonly asked. And this is my personal view again. What I say is, even if the performance is not too good, you can put them through some training or coaching, whatever, and help them to improve. But attitude is very difficult to change. So my personal pick would be, even if the performance is not that good, you can put them through some rigorous training, whatever, and help them scale up their performance. Whereas attitude, you can't do much. And I have experienced this as well in my corporate career. So my pick would be to say attitude is what matters, because you can't really change the attitude. And by the way, I do conduct group sessions on high performance for different corporates. So if you do have issues, I'm definitely happy to work with your team members as a coach.
Great. Thank you so much, Sangeeta. I think that was the last question we had. All right.
I must also say that the audience were great. They were so nice, enthusiastic, and participative most of all. So I really loved doing this masterclass for CXO Genie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking your time out to take us through this. And thank you everyone for joining us today for this session. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good weekend. See you all. Bye.
Bye.